with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast. We're back. I'm back. I'm sorry I missed last week's episode, but nevertheless, Tottenham is going to be back this upcoming week. I'm Michael. He's Jacob. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Friday. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good night. Wherever you may be tuning in from. We're cold over here in El Paso, Texas. I'm sure you're cold across the pond as well, or wherever you may be watching from. It's just cold all around the globe right now, I'm hearing. So, Jacob, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling cold, feeling icy, feeling ready for the Tottenham ball to be back.
Everyone's coming back. Everyone's back.
Yeah, it's all coming back. I don't know if Romero's back yet. Is Romero back?
I don't know yet. I don't think so.
He might still be celebrating. But I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling ready to go, fresh, ready for some more Tottenham, good or bad. At this point, I need it in my life. You know how whenever we're kind of going on a stretch of things, and whether it's good or bad, you just kind of like sometimes you want to hit the pause and just enjoy what's happened or forget about what's happened. And I feel like this has been a very long pause. I'm ready for the pause to be over.
Look, man, the Premier League is back, and that is music to my ears. The Premier League is back. I'm ready. I know you're ready. I think just like my whole body and spirit has been ready for about, I would say, 2 weeks now, honestly. I think ever since the knockout round started and we weren't watching soccer every single day, like we were during the knockout rounds of the world, or not the knockout rounds, the group stage of the World Cup. I think that was when I was like, all right, give me more. I want Tottenham back in my life now. I'm ready for it to return. Look, man, there was a lot of good performances from a lot of guys from Spurs in this World Cup. But there was also some, tough moments down the stretch, especially in the knockout rounds for some of our guys. But look, France, they fell at the hands of Lionel Messi, the greatest player of all time in the World Cup final. He finally has
second greatest,
the crown jewel. The second greatest.
I'm sorry.
He finally has the crown jewel. He has solidified his greatness amongst the soccer greats, the great, the one. And Cuti Romero was a key part of that Argentina run. You already mentioned it, Jacob. We don't think he's returned yet. A lot of our guys have returned. Perisic is back. Harry Kane is back. Heung Daddy is back. A lot of these guys are back, man. Eric Dyer also, if you want to include him, I guess.
He's hanging out.
Tottenham is back. We play Brentford on Monday, on December 26th. It's going to be a great, great boxing. It's Boxing Day, right? 26th is Boxing Day. I think I have.
Yeah. I was waiting for some of the more adept UK knowledgeable people in the chat to really fill me in. I Googled it, and it's kind of just like a Christmas that like society did. What's up, James Joris? Speaking of back, big up, boys, says James Joris. Big up yourself, my friend. Glad to have you both. Oh, look at that. And Scott M. Stop the count.
Scott M's in the house.
I know what he said. We're going to suck and that Conte's leaving. Hey, I know that's what you said in the poll, my friend.
Just a reminder, Canada did not win a single game in the World Cup, my friend.
Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in.
Sorry, I have to. America.
Big up, Scott M. This is a good moment. Now we got James George.
Love you, Scott M.
And Scott M in the chat to just say thank you to our patrons of the channel. Two of them already popping in the chat, Scott M. But also want to say big up to the Soggy Undies Club member, Alan Sibley, 10-inch himself. And then in the 10-inch club, we have Goguma and Leo COYS with Mile High Hotspur and C. Shearman. Big up yourselves, boys and girls. Official supporters, Scott M. He's in the house. James Joris, he's in the house as well. J. Co, David, Aaron Dub, Jamie, and Jack Kanicki. Big up yourselves. Thank you for the support. And then the Lovers Lane, Bobby K, Gina Kim, Tom Markkinen, Colin Sievers, and C Cubed. So big up yourself, every single one of you on that list. Thank you for your constant support. And thank you, Scott M, for James Joris popping up in the chat. Just want to say big ups and thank you. That y'all being here, hitting that like, hitting that I know y'all have already subscribed because y'all are here, but just hitting that like, giving us the view, that's more than enough. And then going above and beyond, becoming a patron of the channel, that's a big step. So just want to say thank you all if you're on that list, and thank you all just for being here, even if you're not on that list. Even if you just hit the like Yay. But big up yourselves. Oh, talking
Big up,
balls
big up.
here. Hello, family.
What's going on,
Big
Colin?
up yourself. Lovers Lane, one and only. Canada need an easy run like England, Wales, and Iran. Big up, Scott M. There is something I did want to talk about at some point in the about players that we saw in the World Cup and kind of what we thought about them. But I do want to say there is a couple Canadians I wouldn't mind playing on Tottenham Hotspur.
For sure.
Is there Tajon Buchanan and Alphonso
Davies.
Alphonso Davies. Oh my God, he would transform that left side. But big up, Scott. Thank you for being here. Big up, Phil. Woo! Happy Friday. Woo! Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah,
Woo!
yes.
Happy Hanukkah
as
Woo!
well. Happy Kwanzaa.
All of that.
Everything.
Mm-hmm. Happy holidays. Yeah. That's another thing. Michael and I were talking about what we wanted to do on the show. And, we talk about the preseason match a little bit, rumors and etc. But also, I felt like it would be nice to just come on here and just say, what's up? Happy holidays. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying warm. If not, pour up something nice. And hopefully, we can all just relax and talk about some exciting things with Tottenham. Because honestly, I feel like when Tottenham starts, the positive, like the outlandish transfer rumors start, right? And then also the outlandish negative rumors start. And until I hear something from Antonio that tells me that he's leaving or anything of the sort, we could talk about the contract or the lack thereof Antonio signing. But at the same time, I mean, if I'm Antonio, I'm waiting for you to buy me Hakimi. Give me some Hakimi, and then we'll talk about a contract. So I think it goes both ways. But yeah, I don't know, Michael, is that something you wanted to delve into off the top? Talking about Conte.
Antonio.
I love me some Antonio.
Antonio.
Yes.
Nah, man, I'm not worried. I'm focused on this Brentford match. Honestly,
Big
me
up,
though.
Leo.
You know me. I try my best at least. Sometimes I do let it get to me, but look, right now I'm staying strong. I'm kind of still in that World Cup positivity mode right now, but I'm not listening to all these rumors. I'm blocking out all the haters right now.
There you go.
I'm just focused on Boxing Day. I'm focused on Brentford right now, and I'm just focused on our guys getting back and hopefully getting some guys back within the next month or so. We mentioned already that a lot of these guys have come back from the World Cup. Some of them did come back injured though. You have Ben Davies, you have Rodrigo Bentancur, and then you have Richarlison, who also came back injured, and it was confirmed this morning that Richarlison will be out 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring injury. So it's unfortunate. That's probably the biggest blow in terms of the players. Well, along with Bentancur, but it's not confirmed how long he's going to be out. He could be back in his first eligible game against Aston Villa. So you never know. There's still no word, on his exact return date, but we'll see, man. We'll see. A lot of these guys have already come back to training, so it's been good to see. Like the likes of Harry Kane, Perisic, Sonny,
back.
And then also some of the guys who stayed back, like Kulusevski. Obviously he had some good performances in the warm-up games leading up to this Brentford match. But look, these guys that are injured, Bentancur, Ben Davies, Richarlison, what do you make of it, man? Like, I'm just so bummed out, especially with I don't know if he's back yet.
He played.
I don't really care, to be
he played in the preseason.
Oh, that's true.
He was a sub. He didn't play full minutes, but he was a sub. So he's probably working himself back.
Like these guys like Bentancur, and then obviously Richarlison, we were confirmed, 3 to 4 weeks out injured with a hamstring injury. It's tough, man, in my opinion. Just because how good of a World Cup that he had for Brazil. Obviously, he scored the goal of the tournament. It was confirmed he indeed won that award in the World Cup. How are you feeling, man? I'm just bummed, just bummed out.
Yeah, that is a little disappointing, I think, because you look at his World Cup performance, and I think every Spurs fan, along with Brazilian fans, were very excited about what they saw, what he was bringing to the table. Just because that was the goal of the tournament. Was there a better goal than Richarlison's poppy-uppy little...
Not in my opinion.
Not in my opinion. I might be biased. We might need someone who's a little less
You
biased.
had the Mexico free kick. You had the Saudi Arabia banger
Mexico free
in the
kick
opener
was nice.
against Argentina. There was a lot of good goals, but, man, that Richarlison goal, just
There's nothing better
the
than
finesse,
that
the
one in
flair, the crowd reaction, the vibe. Like, oh my god, it was just incredible, man.
Bro,
Incredible.
my
Literal
energy when
chills,
that
literal
happened,
chills.
I know I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it because it's one of those goals where I feel like it's going to be you remember where you were when it happened. So many beautiful pictures. I have so many saved on my phone, like he's my child or something from that match, just because it was very special. But it is just a little alarming that he's hurt. It's disappointing. I think he picked it up right before they got eliminated, if I'm not mistaken. But these things happen. We knew that we'd face some injuries. The thing is, we need depth. Kulusevski's back, so that's not too bad. But who else do we have? Brian Hill? Do we really think Hill is the guy? Is he that guy? Is he going to be that guy? The Royal Spur, what's up, sir? Says, if we don't sign no one in January, I want to protest. You want to protest or you want to see a protest? I'm all for both. Talking Ball says, I think Conte stays. The only issue is his daughter not wanting to leave Italy due to high school. Good thing, though, is that she's heading into her final year. I think Conte wants to stay, too. I think when you look at just the rep that we have as a club, that people kind of, doubt us all the time. And if we were to win a trophy, what that would mean for Antonio Conte, Harry Kane, Heung, Daddy, Hugo Lloris, everyone, what that would mean is that they're able to break the curse that we go through. So it's tough. It remains to be seen, but I don't think it's impossible. The roles are we need a right wing back and defenders. That's the first two areas of interest that I have anyway. Ooh, look at that. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's one of those goals.
You're gonna remember for the rest of your life.
Big up, Stewart. I will always remember where I was.
Like Van Persie-esque, like the Van Persie goal from 2014. You have the James goal, obviously, from 2014. That won the goal of the tournament. There's goals like that Richarlison goal. Like, you're gonna remember for a long, long time. Everyone's gonna remember for a long time.
Nasty. That's nasty. Oh my
Nasty.
god, this is nasty. Now do it for Spurs. That's what I want to see. But that's what sucks about him being hurt. That's what hurts me.
It's disappointing, man, because after the World Cup that he had, like, I'll be honest, and I told Jacob this after I said it on the stream.
Big up, Stewart.
I was like half quarter joking, like just a little bit joking on my Golden Boot prediction when I said Richarlison, just because he was a little bit inconsistent in terms of like goal output when he played for Spurs. So like, there's only a small amount of games, small sample size that you're gonna have to show out for, and it wasn't all that crazy to say that maybe he would have been a little bit inconsistent for Brazil. But look, he scored some really good goals. He scored early on, and they were important. They were ones that won them ball games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's disappointing that he's hurt coming back, just because he's in basically the form of his life. Like, if Brazil would have pulled out that victory in penalties against Croatia, like, we would be talking about a player who probably would still have been playing, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Now that he's back at Spurs, I think he's taking health just a little bit more seriously, and the World Cup players just don't really, frankly, like, no matter how serious the knock, they want to be out there.
They don't give a fuck.
He could have still scored some more goals in the knockout rounds if Brazil had advanced, but it remains to be seen, man, because now he's going to be out for Spurs for about a month, you would say, give or take a few days or so. It's going to be a month, man, until we see this guy back on the pitch. He's going to be out he's going to be out for the North London derby. So it's tough. It's tough.
So wait, he's out that long? We're talking how long?
Well, I mean, if he's confirmed out for 3 to 4 weeks, I would say at least maybe right after the Arsenal game, maybe Man City on January 19th, maybe.
Probably that Fulham game.
But it remains to be seen, just because, hamstring injuries can be tricky sometimes, and you never know the recovery and all that good stuff.
That is very true, especially one that I think he's dealt with since he was at Everton, if I'm not mistaken. But you know what? He showed a lot of quality, a lot of class. I want to say hello, Alan Sibley. How you doing, sir? Big ups. I don't know if you were here when we said thank you to all the patron members, but I want to make sure you get a special shout out, brother, and say thank you. He also says Conte signing his contract, and we are getting at least 2 signings. To me, that's a successful January, especially if it's 2 quality signings at the right wing back and at the center back. I'm good with that, but I'd also like maybe another attacking player above Heung. Maybe we could get Heung on like a swap deal or something, or a loan swap or something. I mean, damn, we could go get a young kid that's okay. Here's my thing. I'm gonna go on a little Heung rant if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead. I don't mind.
Watching him play. Okay, I watched him play, and I understand people are excited. Like, let's just talk about Hill for a second, because some people are excited about what they saw. But what I remember, what I saw, okay, was this man making some good runs, being very active. I want to say that off the top. Okay, I want to compliment before I give some critiquing.
Bring him back down to earth.
Yeah, some good runs. That was fun. A lot of energy, but also, when a Chihuahua runs into a wall or runs into a bookshelf, what's going to happen to that Chihuahua?
Or a Rottweiler.
What's going to happen when the damn pit bull, like, he's just not, this is not the physical, he doesn't have the physicality for this league. This league, and we were playing Nice. That's even too physical for him, and they're not as physical as the Premier League. He's not the guy at this juncture. That's just how I feel. We need someone better. If we want a younger, cheaper option, why not Nico Williams? He showed out for Spain. He plays for Atletico Bilbao, I think is what their name is. They're in the Liga. He's just as fast as him, just as good ball control. And I think he would be even cheaper than he is. I think he's around like 15 to 19. You could probably get Nico Williams, the younger brother of Inaki Williams, who, if you want to go by genetics or hereditariness or anything,
Athletic Bilbao club legend.
Bro, he hasn't missed a game in like 20 years, whatever it is. That man's a machine. So I can only imagine his younger brother would be similar. I'm just saying there's a dozen options, and I just pulled that out. So I'm sure some fucking scout getting paid 6 figures a year could figure out a player that would suit us better than Brian Hill. That's all I'm gonna say, because I wouldn't mind seeing that. But I do think I do agree with what the Royal Spur was saying earlier, that right wing back and center back is our 2 main priorities right now. We can't rely on Kuti to be healthy. We can't rely on Davinson Sanchez to fulfill that role. We can't rely on Davinson Sanchez to be in the middle of the park neither. We can't rely on Eric Dyer to be in the middle of the park. We can barely rely on Longley, and you know what? He's been one of our best defenders out of the back 3 all season. And so it's just like, for me, it's tough, because we need to really do the whole, like, you know, revitalization.
We need to get
backline
signings in January. If we're only getting 2, they need to be on the level and the impact that Bentancur and Kulusevski had last January after getting them signed.
Mm-hmm.
I want 3 or 4, if I'm being honest. And I know that that's asking for a lot, especially in the January window from Tottenham. But let's be realistic, man. We need help on the right wing back, obviously. Like, that is probably the one position that is just
baby,
like,
come
please,
on.
like, just I am begging for better.
SOS.
And it's center back. You need a world-class center back along that back line with another borderline world-class center back in Cuti Romero. Now, I mean, hey, look, I guess you could argue, because he's won the World Cup now. And then you have Longley, who's, like you said, he's been one of our better defenders, but let's be honest, we got to raise expectations. We got to be better if we want to compete at the highest level in the Champions League and the Premier League. And then look at the midfield, man. Like, 1 or 2 injuries and we're screwed in the midfield, like we had seen for a little bit in that first half of the season. So in my opinion, we need another midfielder, hopefully like an attacking midfielder, one more that's attacking minded. Kudus would be great, man, but I think he's going to get snagged by a big club. Either in this window or in the
guy
summer.
who's like, I'm just as good as Neymar. He just has a fancier name or some shit like that. He said that. Someone said that right when the World Cup started. He's like, I'm just as good as Neymar. And then he went and scored and did a backflip. It was fucking. I think he did a backflip and then he like hit Cristiano Ronaldo's victory. I think that's Kudus. I might be mistaken. Scott M about Richarlison's injury says 3 to 4 weeks quickly becomes 7 to 8 weeks with Spurs injuries. The black hole that we have discussed many times on this channel, the black hole that is the Spurs medical staff.
I want to give a shout out to the latest
on,
victim and the latest member of the black hole, Lucas Moura. Antonio Conte said it in his presser today that he's still dealing, he is still dealing with that same leg injury.
What the
since
fuck are they doing?
Since last season.
Bro, I feel like I'm credentialed to work in that fucking staff room because honestly, I cannot heal people. I can help not rehabilitate anybody and double their expected injury duration. Like that seems very easy.
Cubed. I am admitting we are not a big club. Until we prove we are.
Oh, you're gonna say that? Royal Spur Thuram or Kudas. I like both those names. I'll take them. Hello C Cubed. Sorry for the no bandana. It's fucking cold out here.
It is cold.
These are also two names I did want to talk to you about, Michael. Piero.
I'm with it.
Capi.
I'm with it.
And Pedro.
But
Porro.
you know who I want at the center back position. You know who's my number one.
Is it the same as mine?
Desire.
Is it the one that makes you wet around the lips, like on the sides right here?
Vardiol. I want him now. Him or Bastoni. You know me.
Bro, I don't even want Bastoni because you can't spell Bastoni without ass. I'm saying Vardiol all the way. Josko Vardiol, wear the mask, bring the mask, never take the mask off. You are the bandit. I want to fucking see him in Lily White wearing that mask, just like my man Heung Daddy and Lily White wearing that mask. It was beautiful to see. This man, hey, there's the highlight, right, of Messi getting him turned around and dancing on him. It's like, hey, you're this. Bro, he's 20 years old. Throw 100 mil at him. I heard the asking price was 90. Don't let another fucking top talent go to Chelsea. I'm telling you, they're low in the table right now. But Chelsea, if we keep letting them make these big signs, this is one of them we need to hijack. We need to pull up and throw the book at this man. Because didn't they just sign Koulibaly at that position?
Daddy.
So they, you know what I'm saying? They're fine. They're all right. Let us have one. Especially a youngster that's got so much upside, but also is very physically proven. I read somewhere last night that because he hasn't played like in a big boy league, in a big boy club, that there is a little hesitation from your Reals and your other your bigger clubs than us that can come in and basically be like, hey, we are this club. And they'll be like, oh, we're signing with you because you're a big boy club or you're guaranteed trophies like City. Before one of them want to poke around at him, they want to see him step it up at like a bigger league level. So why not come to Tottenham, play here for 4 or 5 years, help us get a trophy. We'll sell you for 180 mil.
I hope so, man. Like you know me and Jacob, you know for how long I've been wanting Vardiol. I know that a lot of people were starting to hop on the train in the summer. Dude, I've been on this guy since like 2 summers ago, since last January at least. But yeah, I agree. I think maybe he's gonna go to a little bit of a bigger club. I think he's already on that level, especially after the World Cup that he had. I know he got tossed and turned and put in a blender by Messi, but outside of that, he was brilliant for Croatia down the stretch. Like
he's the GOAT.
He had a really good World Cup. It's only gonna bolster his transfer value. It's gonna be 100 plus, if that. We'll see. But
do you know the thing he does, the little shave he does in his eyebrow? My oldest brother, my oldest brother, that used to be a thing back in like 2000. Let's see, he graduated in 05 from high school, so that would be like 2003. So early 2000s, dudes who were trying to be cool or whatever with the ladies, they get like shaves in their eyebrow. They shave a little slash or whatever, and Vardiol does that. And I thought that's kind of cool. Maybe it's coming back, and I think it looks good on him. So he's got style. We've seen it in a big tournament with the world's eyes watching. He's going to do a great job. He didn't do anything wrong on that highlight. He got turned around by Messi. He didn't. If you watch the highlight, he did not let Messi really turn him. It's just Messi, bro. He's going to do a Messi thing at some point. So I don't really blame him for that. But I would love me some Josko Vardiol because that guy is top notch. Throw 100 mil at him. I'm happy. Get him, Hincapi, and Pedro Porro completely transform that back line. Could you imagine if we're going into that Arsenal match and we got those 3 signings in, and Antonio Conte has signed a contract? Oh my goodness gracious. I've been seeing the Pedro Porro links. I would take him at right wing back if we're not going to get no Hakimi. Obviously, we can't get Hakimi and Vardiol, but if we could,
all I know is Pedro Porro is better than Emerson. I know it's a low bar, but look,
who else is he better than?
If it's better than Emerson,
and
better Doughboy.
than Doughboy, exactly. Come on, I'm so tired with that guy. Honest question for you, Michael. Doughboy or Emerson on the right? I want in the chat. I want to know too. Doughboy or Emerson at this juncture. Who are you going with? We did star a comment from the Royal Spur about our predicted. We'll talk about that when we're predicting Brentford, and we'll get everyone's 11 as well. But we did star that comment, so we do see you. C-Cube says, "What did I pick in the poll?" I'm gonna say Kane and Richie. You good, my guy? That's a pretty good answer to pick. I'm gonna say you picked that one. Big up David Clark. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well out there in Leicester City.
David.
Oh, Kudus is the guy with long hair. Okay, so I was wrong about. We do need to sell Sanchez more. I agree. Big ups. The chat is popping. I'm trying to see if anyone says anything about fucking Doughboy or Emerson. Me, I you know how I feel about Doughboy. Anyone who's tuned into the channel knows how I feel about Doughboy.
I just think he knows how to play soccer and is just more,
bro. He's
just better at the game of soccer. Like, it's just that simple. Emerson is bad.
Emerson can't even show out against Nice, and I'm saying that's
just about being
Doughboy's
good at the sport.
level. That's Doughboy's level of quality. Say that again.
It's just about being good at the sport. Emerson is not.
No, he's not.
I am done. You know, I am done.
You're very done. I can hear
that
it
is
in
the
your voice.
one thing
You're
that
like,
I
shut the fuck
can't
up
wait
about
for.
Emerson.
That is the one thing that I have been so blessed to not have to be a witness to over the last month or so, is watching Emerson play on the right-hand side for Tottenham Hotspur, because Jesus Christ, I can't do it anymore, man. I really can't. Conte, I am begging you, please stop playing Emerson.
But that's the thing, he won't stop playing Emerson. And yes, Cubes, I would do nasty things to have Vardiol.
I would do nasty
I wouldn't give
Vardiol.
my firstborn because I love him way too fucking much. But Reece James is never coming to Tottenham. That's a fact. Big up my high Hotspur with the wet emojis. Brian Daigle, big up yourself, my friend. Wishing everyone
Brian?
a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year. And as always, he would probably want to do the fingers.
Levy out.
Levy out. Yeah, there you go.
Levy out, my friend.
I got you, buddy. Big up Brian Daigle, good friend of the podcast. Well, who's the youngest player to ever score a hat trick in a World Cup? Mbappe? Is it
Pele?
Pele? Okay, here we go. My high Hotspur says Doherty over Emerson.
There's only one right answer.
Doherty is better than Emerson.
It's not a debate anymore.
Bobby
Beginning
Kane
of the season, maybe.
Lovers Lane's getting represented out here in the show tonight. We got Bobby K in the house, C Cubed in the house.
How's it going, Bobby?
Collins in the house. Big up, Jacob, Michael, everyone in the chat. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Bobby. Hope you're staying safe.
Told you.
I know you be out there driving for your occupation. So the roads, hope they're not too wet and icy or anything. And you keep them well and warm, man. Big up yourself. Pele at 17 years old, says David Clark. So you were right. You were very much right. Big up, CQ. Anyway, Richie, you good, my guy? That's an old banner. Richie, are you good, my guy? I do want to know.
He's not right now.
He's not right now. He's not okay right now.
He got knocked out of the World Cup, and now he's hurt.
The next guy I wanted to talk about with you, especially because I know how much you adore him, and I adore him as well. But Kane, are you good, my guy?
I don't think I've been on. Have we done a stream out since the England game, or have I been on a stream since the England game?
No.
Yeah, that was tough, man. It was really tough for me to see. Wasn't even really rooting for England. I just wanted to see a good game. But yeah, when he sailed that over the bar, I was crushed because I knew what was coming, and it came. It was just abuse after after abuse after abuse, and I told you. I was like, if they end up losing this game, he's going to receive so much abuse online. And he did. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. But hopefully he bounces back, man, from from that heartache and just the miss. It's gonna be tough to overcome though, and I told you before the stream, Jacob, I am nervous for Kane, and how he's gonna come back, because we know he's a professional and he is just like a tank, like just he's a machine. He does it year in, year out. He may start a little bit slow sometimes, like we saw last season, but when he's at his best, he's one of the best players in the world.
Number
I'm
2
just
in the Golden
scared
Boot
that
race this year.
I'm just scared that that miss is just gonna like haunt him and gonna like eat away at him. Because dude, we're all human, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just hope it doesn't get to him. But that is my worry, right? That's probably my number one concern right now in terms of Spurs.
Yeah,
Like, how is Kane gonna be when he comes back? And you could say that for the rest of the guys at the World Cup. Like, are they gonna come back just knackered and dead and just no energy and they're fatigued already? Or guys who have come back injured, how are they gonna get on when they're back? Like, will it be a lingering issue for the rest of the season, or will they end up being out longer than anticipated with our freaking injury staff and our health department, like our medical team? There's a few things to be worried about right now. I can't lie, but I think my number one concern right now is how is Harry Kane going to be when he gets back.
I wouldn't say for me personally that's my number one. I am a little concerned how he's going to be in the jump, but I think if he takes a step back, he's in training, so I think being with the comrades and the boys, the locker room with the towel snaps and the ginger snaps and what have you, I think he's having a good time again. I think the boys will keep him in good spirits. At the end of the day, he's a man who does have individual accolades to his name and trophies to his name. He's a man who's broken records for Tottenham and breaking records for his nation. This is a man, he's got it all. He's got a beautiful family, some beautiful children, beautiful wife that love him. They've been together forever. They got like that high school sweetheart love, kind of like my boy Mikey over here. But it's just like, what I mean? He's got it. So like at the end of the day, he could still take a look at his situation, I think, and be all right. Yes, social media is a bitch. People are going to post disgusting stuff. Didn't someone send poo-poo to his house? I'm pretty sure I read somewhere someone mailed him some poo-poo, which that's not very nice. I will say that's kind of bad. So maybe he needs to hire someone to like go through his mail for a little bit. But to me, I'm more concerned about the medical stuff, because that, like we were talking about, the black hole that is our physio room. I think that's my number one concern at this moment. Kane, on the mental health side, the emotional side, I think it might take a little time, but at the end of the day, he's a big boy. He plays a big boy sport. He knows what it's like to captain a nation, to captain a club, to succeed and to not succeed. So at the end of the day, I do feel bad for him. If it really did suck, because I would have rather Hugo saved it than him sky it. He didn't even put it on target. Like that, to me. And then also the narrative of, oh, he's Spurs. Spurs fuck it up for everybody, right? Spurs never help nobody, and Spurs will always let him down, and all this shit, right? So it just adds to the narrative that I think he's already been accustomed to. So it doesn't help him none, not at all. And I think the England fans who are not also Tottenham fans real easily can jump on this hate, because at the end of the day, it's a Tottenham player. So it's real easy to be like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. He let the whole nation down. Kane, I love the guy. I support him. I think he will come through with it. I think he has got an adult mindset, an elite mindset, a world-class mentality, as well as ability, that will force him to not dwell on this kind of thing. I don't think he will. I think he'll be all right. So, Mike, I don't want you to be concerned. You said it's your number one concern. I think Kane's going to be all right. And if he's not, tell him, hit me up on Twitter. We can text, we can chat. I'll video chat, I'll cheer him up. I'll do a little puppet show or something. I'll put on a show for him, make him feel better if that's what would help. But I don't think he'll need that, because he's a big boy, and I think he'll be all right. That's what I think. So my number one concern is the physio room. Whoever goes in there, I don't think they come back the same. Ron Vignac, what's up, buddy? Says Kane won't be the same. This might affect him. Spurs fans even abused him. The English football fan base is cruel and toxic place, as well as the media. Fuck Piers Morgan. David Clark says Kane's back at the training ground. He was in the stands at the Nice game. Kane will smash Brentford. I hope so.
I hope so.
See, there you go. There you go. David Clark, he's got the crystal ball.
true.
David Clark,
He does
our
have the
friend,
crystal
he's
ball.
got the crystal ball. He said Kane gonna be fine. Scott M says Kane will be fine. Unfortunately, he will still be surrounded by crap, so it won't matter. Big up Scott M. Rufus Rough Cut, big up brother, says feel for Kane. Yeah, it definitely sucked. I was definitely not rooting for England at all at any juncture in the tournament, but I would never root for Kane to go out like that. I would have rather see him tie it and then they score right at the death. But yeah, I feel for Kane too, man. It sucks. Kane just needs 5 more ghouls.
Yep, 5 more girls. He does need 5 more girls at this point.
Hey, get 5 more girls, line them up. Come on, Kane. Maybe those will come back down to earth too. Kane just needs 5 more goals to be Spurs all-time top goal scorer. So keep your head up, Kane. Yeah, come on. Rest in peace, George Cohen, great right back, 1966 World Cup winner who passed away today. R.I.P. George Cohen. Shout out your family. I mean, not shout out. Condolences with your family. My fault, George Cohen, bro.
Shout out your family, bro.
Shout them out in a positive way. Like I hope they doing all right. Rufus, how many times has King saved England? All the time. He's the only thing that they got relevant. Not even Dyer can make him relevant. Came out of a bit of a hangover. He'll bounce back. Dude is resilient. That's what I'm saying. I think he's David Clark's head's where mine is. I'm far more concerned about Kane's ankles than his mindset. Exactly. Because if he goes in that physio room, we may never see him again. But you know what? Skip didn't play in the preseason. He's seldomly seen since the number change, since before the number change.
So now that we're talking about it, I mean, we might as well get into it, Jacob, if you want to. The latest and last warm-up match against OGC Nice. You know, happened the other day. There was indeed a goal scorer by the name of Doughboy, who once again scored for Tottenham in a warm-up game.
Ideal.
You know, Jacob, before we get into, previewing Brentford and kind of just looking ahead at the next few games, now that we are returning to club football, overall thoughts. Obviously, Doughboy scored. Heel played again. A few of the young guys as well. But what did you see?
What I saw, honestly, Tanganga looked pretty good. I know it's Nice, all right, but Tanganga was out there. Yes, got him. My bad. I shouted out the family when I was supposed to say condolences. So shout them out full of condolences is what I'm going to say. From the preseason game, the Motherwell, I didn't want to take anything away from that match because, quite frankly, it looked like fucking Sunday League versus some professionals. You know what I mean? It's like it was just night and day. So I don't want to take anything away from that.
Night and day.
I will say, Doughboy, hey, that was a nice heads-up play. It was a heady play. Is he the only player who can make that play? Hell no, he is not. So he's not some second coming of like a great right back. He's just Doughboy. He'll always be Doughboy. Yep. But at this point, I'll take Doughboy over Emerson. Emerson, to me, looked like he does in every Tottenham game, no matter the competition. Just running around, doing this and that. Didn't really do anything great for me. But I do want to talk positively before I just keep shitting on players. So I do want to say Tanganga was a positive for me. He looked positive. Bissouma looked positive. I wanted to see him try more shots from the outside. He did have one, which is in the exact same spot I think it was when he played for Brighton, the one that he scored against us last year, in the same exact spot, but it was definitely not at the same kind of shot. So I need to see him do better from distance, especially if our boy Bentancur is not going to be playing. We're going to need him to step up in a creative attacking mid mindset because we know what Højbjerg is going to bring. Højbjerg was playing. He did look knackered and tired. He looked like he was unfit. Maybe he's been a little down since Denmark's early exit of the World Cup. Maybe we need to be thinking about Højbjerg's mindset, not Kane's. I did think it was weird that Sanchez was the captain. When I saw the lineup, I was like, okay, Sanchez is captain. That's fucking weird. Spence is not even on the bench. Come to find out, I think he was ill. And Sonny was ill, and Skip was ill. But Sonny still played. Skip and Spence did not. So maybe they were more ill. I don't know. But again, what's his name? 42, Harvey White was playing as like a false nine. They were trying to play him in the Kane role. He really looked out of his element. There was a couple times where I just really felt like his feet looked like they were stuck, where he got the ball and he was trying to turn with the ball. And maybe I'm just too used to Kane fucking slick, nasty turns with the ball when his back is to the goal. But Harvey White just kind of looked stuck in the mud. He's been impressing. I just think he was a little out of his element, a little outclassed, outmanned. Just didn't really look like he belonged in that match, in my opinion. He wasn't all bad, so I don't want to paint the picture that he was all bad. His head is very large. I don't understand. He's got a very fucking big head, or maybe his body's disproportionate. I don't know what it is, but you can definitely tell it's him out there, so that's nice. Kulusevski was making a lot of runs. I feel like he didn't really have chemistry with Harvey or Brian Hill, who started on the left. And Brian Hill, for me, like I was saying earlier in the show, he's not even up to the physicality of Nice, which would tell me he's definitely not up to the physicality of the Premier League. He was energetic. He made nice runs, like I was saying earlier. But I just don't think he's just too easy to get taken off the ball. Just way too fucking easy. A player who's of similar... Yeah, exactly. A player who's of similar stature, who's thickened up since his move to PSV, is Xavi Simons. He's fucking small, but he doesn't get dispossessed quite so easily and just run through. He's like a paper player out there, and he just gets knocked over, and then he looks to the ref, and then the ref doesn't call anything, so then he gets up and he sprints back real fast, you know? And that's good. He has good hustle, and he's like, I think the heart's there. I think the hustle's there. He's got some skills, but like, we're Tottenham. If we're playing in Conference League, maybe he's a shout. But like, we're about to play fucking Milan in February, and we're gonna get torn apart in that match. I'm telling you right now, we're getting fucked up if we don't do nothing in January. And if Brian Hill is our option off the bench, we're definitely going to be in trouble come February. But it just, I didn't see anything that, honestly, Sarr was nice to see. He's such a tall guy. If he could put on like 5 pounds in them legs and in them arms, I think he'd be a hell of a specimen. He's like 6'3" or some shit, and he's still young. He seemed pretty confident on the ball, so he was nice to see. Bissouma was nice to see. Højbjerg looked a little tired. Doherty on the left is Doherty on the left. Yeah, I didn't like Sanchez in the middle either. I don't like Sanchez in the middle. I don't like Sanchez on the right. Sanchez is a liability. I think I saw that somewhere. Sanchez is a calamity.
Yeah.
He is very much a calamity. How can you be South American and be shit at defending? He's a physical specimen, so he physically could do. I think it's just mental. He fucks himself up. Like, even against Nice, there was a clearance. No one was around him, and he cleared it as if he had Cristiano Ronaldo on his back. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, bro, you could take a second right there. Like, he just seems not mentally like he's got it down. He just seems. I think he gets himself too frantic. He plays too frantic, even when he doesn't need to play like that. I prefer Longley, Dyer, Tanganga in the back three. We need help. We need help in that back three. Tanganga is better than Sanchez. Doherty was looking like when he was at Wolves, he has a far more positive mindset. I do agree. Even in a friendly, what were you saying, Michael, before the show? Doherty's becoming
He's the best Spurs player in preseason / warm-up / friendlies. He's like our Harry Kane. He's all reliable when it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Just come on, man. But again, I prefer him over Emerson. Cube says they have a fever and wants to see the puppy. Harvey White is a sniper's dream.
He's sitting on the couch right now.
Casey
maybe later.
Yeah, Jacob discriminating against big head people. How rude. No, not discriminating. I just thought it looked weird. Like, why is his feet so heavy and his head so large? That was mainly my most question. Checking out to see how many boys I can bulk up Adama style. No, just get Adama. He's about to be free in summer. So we're about to have to get him for free. He's definitely coming to Spurs if he's free. Come on. We've been linked with him too much time. If we don't do anything in January, Conte is definitely walking. I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit, Michael. I just think he needs some backing. Then he'll feel like he wants to make this. He wants to sign on the dotted line. It's that simple. Bobby K, Jacob, pop your top. Show them.
There you go.
Puppies.
That's the
Don't
puppies
let
we're talking about. Those are the
Oh.
puppies we're talking about.
Excuse me, it's getting warm in here. And loosen up the neckle. Big up, Bobby K. The other thing I wanted to talk to you, Michael, we're getting some rumors. Alan Sibley.
You're getting everyone riled up now. Here we go.
Yeah, everyone's getting anxious in the chat 'cause I'm talking about Adama. But who would you be satisfied with? Like, what would it take for you to be like, okay, this January I feel confident? Is it getting business done by a certain time, like before the Arsenal match? Is it what is it that will make you feel like this was a successful January?
3 signings and maybe a contract extension or 2 by either Kane or Conte. And obviously,
signings.
like winning the North London derby and hopefully getting a result against City.
Yeah,
I know it's at City, but you know,
Bro,
you
we
never
play
know.
City-
Last year we beat them.
we play City,
Harry Kane
Fulham, and
masterclass.
City. Why we got so much City titty? I don't understand.
It's because of that delayed game, man.
Oh,
The suspended game.
That's right. That makes sense. Hey, you know what? Maybe we might
Because
be
of
better.
Lizzie.
We might be big. We might be. Oh yeah, rip Lizzie. Shout out her family as well. But
Don't shout out her family.
my fault. So 3 signings. You say 3 signings and either Kane or Conte extending was solidified for you.
I would say 3 signings. Honestly, contract extensions aside, 3 signings and winning the North London derby. That's a successful January. We could lose every other game as long as we beat Arsenal. And that's just me though. I just hate Arsenal. I
mean,
think
honestly,
I would trade losing every other game in January for a win against Arsenal. I really would. I just, especially after the last game, I just can't lose again to Arsenal, man. I can't do it. I hate losing to Arsenal.
honestly, it is one of the worst feelings. Next to
I just hate that
them
feeling,
being on
man.
top
I just
of
don't want
the
to feel it
table.
anymore. Yeah.
Them being on top of the table fucking kills me.
And I know that's saying a lot, like us losing every other game in January, but like, I don't know, man. And then we have Champions League coming up soon on the horizon.
Okay, nah, there's no way we're losing to Villa, Palace,
Oh, I know.
or Fulham.
I'm just saying.
And then
I
we
just
play
don't wanna lose to
Portsmouth.
Arsenal.
Dane Scarlett, question mark? He can't play versus us, right?
I don't
'Cause
think
we-
so. I don't think so.
I don't think you can play versus your loaned club, like who you get loaned. Can you? I don't know. Anyway, Dane Scarlett, what if he knocks us out of the FA Cup? That'd be fucking hilarious.
Poetic. But yeah, man. Looking ahead, let's look ahead at the schedule, and then we'll look ahead to Brentford specifically. We'll go a little bit short here on today's stream as it is the holidays. Again, we wanted to say what's up with y'all. We wanted to talk a little bit about Tottenham because, look, I know we kept it going throughout the World Cup, but it's Tottenham time starting this coming week on Monday. We play Brentford away, and then we're at home against Aston Villa, and then away again against Crystal Palace before playing in the FA Cup like Jacob mentioned against Portsmouth. And then we have that North London derby to mark the midway point, if you will,
Them
midway
bastards.
point of January. Look, it's a packed schedule, Jacob, and I think we'll get into, I guess, the latter stages of the month, maybe next week or the week after. But looking ahead right now, man, you got Brentford, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. 2 games away, 1 at home before the FA Cup. I'm asking you right now, how many points are we getting?
I think I could honestly see, without giving too much away, bro, when we play at 5:30 in the morning, when it's 5:30 a.m. for us, when it's kickoff, we fucking suck. So I'm going to say we get a draw versus Brentford the day after Christmas. I'm going to be waking up at fucking 5:30 a.m. to watch Tottenham draw 0-0 or 1-1 versus Brentford. They're gonna get a penalty in like the 80th minute or some shit.
We're back, baby.
And Tottenham balls back, baby.
Just another day over here across the pond. Waking up at the ass crack of dawn to watch a disappointing Tottenham performance. A tradition like no other.
It is
suffering for many years now.
Yeah, and people like to talk shit about American fans, like we aren't fucking dedicated or we don't give a shit. Like, bro, I wake up at fucking 5:30 the day after Christmas. You're telling me I'm gonna get hammered on Christmas, first of all.
Yep, me too.
And I'm gonna be waking up.
But I'm gonna be waking up.
Mm-hmm. And same thing. Also, they do that a lot on New Year's. Do we do that? Yeah, we do that. New Year's Day. Mm-hmm. My wife's birthday is December 31st. So we're going to go ham on December 31st. And then I'm going to be waking up at 7 a.m. on New Year's Day to watch Aston Villa.
Shout out Amazon, because we have that Sunday, January 1st off. So
shout them out.
I get to watch the game at home on January 1st, man. I'm excited.
Comfy and with your own hangover and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And also you get to enjoy the night before, because what's the New Year's Eve if you're thinking about fucking going to work the next day?
Exactly.
Shout out Tricky One, says, good evening, you Spurs of A. Not sure I understand the poll again this week.
Just feel it. You just got to feel the answer in your body, and then you just got to press it on the poll.
Yeah, there will be.
That's the best way I can describe it. You just got to feel it, and then pick your answer.
It's like, what are those things where they, a fucking Ouija board. Just, your hand will guide you to the answer, my friend. But good evening. Thank you for joining. Aston Villa going to be tricky. I don't think so. Anytime I see Aston Villa, I think it's on like Donkey Kong. I salivate.
It would have to be a true like Spurs performance against Aston Villa to lose at home.
But it's 7 a.m. We play unless it rains. Now, if it's raining on 7 a.m., don't talk to me about raining at 7 a.m. All right, but if it's raining for 7 a.m. kickoff, honestly, it's going to be tough for the boys. But I think.
But looking at these next 3 games, man, how many points you got?
7, easy.
7.
We should beat Palace.
Who are we drawing against?
Brentford. First game back from the World Cup. Shit, everyone's.
Fraser Forster going to be in net for this one. It's going to be an exciting one. Maybe an unpredictable one. You never know.
It's tough because I think he's a very large guy. He's going to be good. But Brentford, most of their goals that they score, it's fucking on the floor. It's hard for a big boy to get down like that. So I hope he come ready. We're going to need him, because if I know one thing about all these matches, our defense will play like shit. And whoever's in net is going to have to come up with some saves to either keep us in it or give us a chance at a tie. I don't know. I'm not feeling too good.
The one thing about playing Brentford away is that they are 3-3-1 at home. Like, not the greatest of records. You know what I mean? Like, I know they've only lost once, but look.
But what a better time to turn it around than versus Tottenham.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's why we are Dr. Tottenham, right?
Yeah.
David Clark also says, a lone player can play against us if a written request is put in by Portsmouth and Spurs agree to it, but that won't happen. Good, because Dane Scarlett will knock us out the FA Cup. Mark my words. If he plays versus Spurs, he will knock us out the FA Cup.
And you know, Brentford reminds me, Jacob, and I know you're a fan of his game, but unfortunately, he's not going to be featuring in this match.
No, Tony.
And he's not going to be featured for a long time, probably.
No, Tony.
Ivan Toney.
I love me some Ivan Toney.
He's not going to be playing. That man is buried like 20 feet deep right now in betting scandals and breaches, and it's just not a great situation for him, is it? Or for Brentford. So he was having a great season too, man.
200 something? Yeah, he was. That was a shock that he didn't get called up, but he probably didn't get called up because this shit was going on. Yeah,
that was why.
I mean, good for us. That's good for us, because he actually, when they were still in the championship and we played them in Carabao, I think, in like the semis, the year that we lost to City, we played him in the Carabao Cup and he scored against us. And I remember being like, this guy's going to fucking score against us because he's good and we should sign him from championship while he's cheap. And then he scored against us. They got promoted, and then his price tag was a little more expensive. And then he also didn't want to leave unless for a big deal. and now he's buried. So actually, I guess in hindsight, fucking good thing we didn't sign him from Championship, because we'd be having to deal with this shit right now. So David Clark
It's still
thinks
going to
we'll
be
win.
tough, though. I think it's still going to be tough.
You think we're going to
Brentford
beat
play well
Brentford?
at home. Look, they're 3-3-1 at home. They've won 3, drawn 3, and lost 1. It's not the greatest record, but it's not the worst. It's just they relatively, in recent history at least, in the last like year and a half or so, they do pretty well at home, and they've knocked off some big clubs at home before.
At home, yeah. United, Arsenal come to mind.
But
Yeah.
I think we're going to be hungry. I think Conte is going to be very, very hungry. He's been wanting to be back for a
Kulu.
long, long time, ever since we took that break. So
Kulu better be hungry.
Kulusevski, excuse me, is back now. He's going to be in the 11. You already know. Hyun-min Daddy's going to be back in the 11. You already know.
Masked
So-
up. Come on, man. I'm so
We'll
excited.
see, man. We'll see. I'm excited too. I'm going to say, look, man, fuck it. I'm going to say 9. I think we're
Ooh,
going to be
33.
undefeated in January. Look, I'll just give you a sneak peek on like my next 2 after that games. I think we're going to be undefeated going into City. I think we're going to be
Riding
undefeated, and like we're going to win every single game.
Come on, bro. Just chill. You're
Look,
getting me hyped, man.
Conte's going to get locked in. Hopefully we get 1 or 2 good
Come on.
signings.
Chill.
The only thing is, I can definitely see us maybe like drawing on the road against Crystal Palace. I think that's like a game where, it's before the FA Cup. Maybe have a
True.
good performance against Aston Villa.
Pinchi Vera.
You just never know. You never know. I think that's the one where I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, that one could either be a loss or a draw. I'm hoping it would at the worst be a draw, but look, man, it's Tottenham.
And Patrick Pinchi Vieira. I mean, you can't count him out. He's a bastard. He likes to do well against us as a manager. So Crystal Palace might be tough. You're right. That could be. And you know what? David Clark said the same thing that you said. Brentford 3, Villa 3, Palace 1 with the draw.
I'm saying 9.
That's still undefeated though. Either way. So I think that's a really good prediction actually, Michael, to say that you think we'll be undefeated by the time we play City. And then, I mean, really at that point, it's
gonna be
anything
tough.
could happen.
gonna be
We've won
tough.
there. We've won there. We've fucking won there.
still gonna
Harry
be
Kane's
tough.
done it. It's gonna be tough. But if we put ourselves in that kind of a position going into it, undefeated on the year, like, come on. Also, shout out Pacific Time, Spurs fans as well. I know Cube's out there on Pacific Time. J. Co is out there on Pacific Time.
They're the only ones suffering more than us.
Yeah, they suffer just a little bit more.
And I guess if you're in Australia, right?
Oh yeah, Australia's got to suffer because that's a tough time for them as well. Yes, happy birthday to my wife, New Year's Eve. He said he voted Kane and Rich. He wasn't too sure about wetness and moisture.
You don't have to think about it. Just accept it.
Except
you just
it.
gotta feel
It'll
it.
happen. That's
So-
right. It'll happen. We
Yep,
suck at
do.
Palace
We-
away.
We lost
Palace
the
away
last
is tough.
time. I think the last 2 times we've lost Palace away.
Last time we played Palace away, we did lose. Yeah, and I think it was the game that Tanganga got.
But I think the year before we lost also to Palace away, if I remember correctly.
You're probably right.
I'm gonna be hopeful, man, because look, this is gonna be my X factor, and it's some people are already saying it in the chat. Kulusevski is back, my friend, and he's going to be firing on all cylinders. Obviously, he wasn't playing against great opposition in these last few warm-up games, but we know what he's capable of. The rest of the league, I'm sure, knows what he's capable of, and it's hard to contain him, man. He's just so good on the ball. His composure in the final third is elite, truly is elite, and that's a lot. That's saying a lot for such a young player who's still under 24, 23. Look, he's going to be the X factor. He is going to be the reason why we are going to be undefeated going into Man City on January 19th. And it's going to be great, man. It's going to be great because I think he's going to bag some goals. He's going to have some assists. The question is, can Hyun-min Son and Harry Kane kind of hit the ground running right away, coming back from the World Cup? It
yeah,
remains to be seen.
it's almost like that thing where he's just I feel like he's waiting to take off. Yeah, we played Motherwell with him. Yeah, he played against Nice, but he wasn't playing with his dogs up front. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't playing with Kane and Son. He wasn't playing with his usual. So he's not going to be on top of his game. I think once we see Son and Kane back, if they do hit the ground running, it's just going to, like I've always said, what helps Kulu out so much is that Heung-min Daddy pulls so much attention, Harry Kane pulls so much attention that it's just naturally going to free up that right. And they're not concerned about Emerson, so they're only going to just put that one dude, maybe 1.5 dudes thinking about Kulusevski. So that's just going to naturally, for a player of his abilities, he's shining. He's coming into his own. He's starting to hit his physical peak. So I love it. I think he's going to hit the ground running, as well as Son. I think Son's going to be fine. I think he's going to do great. And then as well as Kane. I think he may struggle. I think he may struggle this Brentford game, just fitness-wise, not mentality-wise. Just, getting back with the team. He's back training today. So what's that? Today, tomorrow, Christmas. He's going to spend some time with his family, obviously, and then Boxing Day. So he's really going to train like 2.5, 3 more days. It's a little tight. It's a little tight for me. I think he might struggle a little bit. Maybe he just struggles in the first half, or maybe he shuts me the fuck up and he just goes out there and puts a hattie on Brentford. I'll be welcome for that too. Also, shout out Rufus. Your son has the greatest name in the world, Jacob. I want to say that first and foremost. But yeah, man, I think Brentford, it's going to be a struggle. I predicted a tie. You predict? I did star this comment from the Royal Spur from damn near an hour ago. Says what is our predicted lineup against Brentford?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Well, actually, I usually go first. Why don't you go first today, my friend?
All right, I got to think about this. So obviously Fraser Forster in net, that's already confirmed. I'm gonna go Sessegnon at left wing back. I'm gonna go Longley, Dyer, Sanchez. Ooh, does Conte start Emerson?
Yeah. Emerson starting,
Doughboy.
Bro. You fucking know. Emerson.
I'm gonna go Doughboy. Doughboy. Doughboy right wing back. Bissouma and Højbjerg in the middle, with Son, Kane, and Kulusevski up top. What about you?
I'm gonna go. Forrester is confirmed that he'll be in net. Emerson is going to be starting at that right wing back.
You think so?
I know so.
Man.
It's fucking going to be Emerson, and then guess who's going to be next to him? Sanchez. It's going to be Sanchez and Emerson hanging out, and I think that's why it's going to be a fucking
Thank God
brawl.
we have Kulusevski as the last player on that right-hand side, because that's atrocious.
Yeah.
I like my 11 more than yours already.
No, I enjoyed yours.
Keep going.
I enjoyed the thought of yours being a reality, but unfortunately...
You're bringing me back down to earth?
I think Conte is just going to say, you know what? Y'all know what I'm going to do.
You
know who the fuck is starting.
Yeah, you know who's starting.
But he maybe make him fucking captain, because captaincy's up for grabs. Maybe he gives it to fucking Emerson so he can just lead the charge. My predicted 11 is going to be Forster, Emerson, Sanchez, Dyer, Longley, maybe even Doughboy on the left, and Perisic coming at halftime, and then Bissouma and Højbjerg in the midfield, and then the same front three that you got, Son, Kane, and Kulusevski. But I will say Kane is probably going to be the captain. Who do you think? Is it going to be Kane or is it going to be Dyer?
If Kane starts, Kane. If Kane doesn't start, Son.
I like that. I mean, I think it's
Son.
going to be fucking Dyer. They'll do Sanchez again. Why was Sanchez the fucking captain? I don't get it. Big up Chris Agambar. Big up yourself. I hope Tanganga starts, but I don't think he'll start. It's going to be Sanchez. It's going to be Emerson. It's going to be Sanchez. Just strap in, get ready. See, Tricky One agrees with me. Scott M prediction. A lot of vomit emojis. A lot of barf barf. Sessegnon.
Kind of harsh to do on Forster. He hasn't played that much. I don't think he's warranted a throwing up emoji. He's a solid backup, man.
I don't think Højbjerg deserves a throwing up emoji either.
Yeah, he's been good this year.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
Everyone else, yeah, that's fair. You think Davies is gonna start?
He put
Scott?
2 Sanchez's. He double up Sanchez volume.
He was so concerned about Sanchez that he, instead of Emerson, he put Sanchez again.
And then a Royale, a little yeah. Højbjerg doesn't deserve it.
Wait. So then or did he put 12 players?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, he put 12.
Yeah, 12.
Okay, so he just put Sanchez twice.
Also, Scott M had a great prediction to all the games that our schedule we were showing. Says, looks like a real chance to lose all these games listed. And I think he said that when it was this. So he's optimistic going into January. Bro, honestly, I hope it's your 11 over my 11 because I did not really like mine. It was painful to say. I like Bissouma starting. That's fun, but it's more out of not that he's been great, more that it's more as just we don't have Bentancur. So
I'm just ready to be disappointed again in January after we get like a half good right wing back and then like a backup center back again, like a Joe Rodon.
Oh, I'm trying to just tell myself it's going to be good news. That
I'm ready to get another
be...
Doughboy and Rodon.
What's up, Ryman's son? Hope you're doing well, staying warm, staying off them streets. They icy. Good evening, Mick. Thanks for joining us here on the tail end of the stream. But I do want to say a big shout out to everyone who's been here from the jump. If you haven't, please hit that like. There's a couple questions I have for you, Michael, before we do sign off here. But I do want to say, please hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. We are on the road to 500. So any help you can get us there. Share this video with your mother and your brother. It's the family time.
Brother.
Or just take their electronic device, get on their YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit that 500.
Sometimes you got to do it yourself.
Sometimes you just got to grab life by the cock and balls and do. Someone asked me the other day, what's up with the bird on the ball? Because they don't really understand the logo. And I said, only club in the world that's got cock and ball. So, I mean, I don't know what else you want, but we've got it all. So big shout out to everyone in the chat. And shout out your families. Hope you're all staying warm. Big up Mick. He's in the house. Man, I'm just not... Okay, so Scott M explained. 12 guys, Sanchez so bad he needs 2 throw-up emojis. Cubes wants puppy time as well. I think you got to show the dog at least once before we sign off.
I'll be right back.
All right, go get that little bugger. But when I look at this schedule, I did want to say something else. Look at this Man City. We got them here on Thursday, January the 19th. 4 days later, we play Fulham. And then February 5th, we play City again. So I don't think that's going to be fun because then on February 14th, we play AC Milan. I think that we are going to get absolutely demolished versus Milan. They have arguably the best left side in the world. In my opinion, they have the best left side with Rafael Leao and Theo Hernandez. I think the two of them are too good. Milan's going to be a problem. But you know what? All I wanted to do, much like USA, I just wanted to make it out the fucking group, out of the competition. That is a victory to me because, for one, when it comes to Champions League, we don't deserve to be there. And two, making it out of the group with these... Oh, why did I do that? I've removed the wrong thing. There we go.
She was taking a nap.
There you go.
There you go, Mama.
There you go. What up, Casey? What up, Casey?
She's tired. She's tired. Did I wake you up, Mama? I'm sorry.
She probably...
Yeah,
there she is, yawning.
I'm sorry, baby.
Adorable.
They wanted to say hi.
I was kind of going on a rant about Milan, Michael, and I was saying that I think they have the best left-sided attack in the world with Leao and Theo Hernandez. And we arguably have the worst right back in the world in Emerson Royale. If we don't bring in the likes of a Pedro Porro, obviously Akimia is never going to happen. But if we don't get a right back in time, for that February 14th matchup. Are you concerned about a 7-1 thrashing?
Against who?
Milan in February.
No, I don't think it'll be that bad. I actually think we'll play them quite well. I think we'll make it interesting. And
I think Emerson versus Leao
we'll probably
and Hernandez
lose in the second leg.
But you're saying you think we'll actually put up a fight with Royale at right wing back?
Oh, no. I think it'll be like 3-1.
I'm saying if Royale's our starting right wing back February 14th, how are you feeling going into that?
I'm not feeling good.
I mean,
I don't think it'll be that bad. I don't think it'll be like 7-1. I think it'll be like 3-1.
Maybe I rate Milan's left side just way too highly, but honestly, they are quite awful, honestly. Our right side, and Kulusevski's great, but defensively, I don't think he can stop Leao. I don't think he's going to track back enough or anything like that. But you know what? Big things have to happen in January. So that was actually my next question for you, Michael. Before we sign this thing off, was there anyone in the World Cup you'd like to overreact and sign a decent amount of money for? Is there who would you want to sign if you could sign, say, 2 players from the World Cup that impressed you?
Ooh.
But I guess realistic.
Realistic.
We can't
I
say,
would say maybe like an Enzo
Musala?
Fernandez. Maybe like
Enzo?
a Enzo Fernandez, or maybe Bono, the goalkeeper from Morocco, for next year and beyond for the next few years. Yeah, she's a little on edge now.
Honestly, I appreciate her input.
There's also who else?
Oh, what's up, Gunners galore?
Pedri would be nice, but I don't think Barcelona would ever give up Pedri.
No,
you have.
I don't see that either.
Vardiol also, obviously, he had a really good World Cup. You can't say Mbappe; that's unrealistic. I think I'd say Enzo Fernandez. Give me Enzo Fernandez, young player of the tournament.
I would love. You mentioned him before the tournament started when we both picked. Big up Gunners galore. Don't want to leave your comment up too much longer. Come on, you Gunner. Get out. Come on. Appreciate you being here. Please hit the like. Thanks. Hit the subscribe. Always appreciate the banter as well, actually. So big ups. They also showed some love to the puppy. So as you know, there's always a uniting factor of beautiful pets. So honestly, as soon as I start thinking about Arsenal, I forget what the fuck we're talking about, because I just didn't remember that they're back to the top of the league, and they're just they're not nice. Spurs Talk Show. What's up, Sean? Says send me the link if you'd like company. I'll send you the link. We're not going too much longer, but you are always welcome on the channel, my friend. So I will send you the link, and you can come give us your peace of mind. Daniel Sandoval, big up to all. Big up to you. Casey, the puppy's getting a lot of love from the Arsenal fan. I don't know if you heard me when I said that. We got Arsenal fan in the chat.
Nice.
And they were showing some love to Casey. So just want to say big up. Royal Spur agrees with you, says it won't be that bad. We still can't beat them. This Milan side is 50-50. But I'm saying that left side, that's the part that fucking scares me, is that left side. And that's why I think that they'll be too good for us. Big up David, Merry Christmas. Jacob and Mike, great show. Big up yourself. Merry Christmas, David. You might have missed me in the beginning saying thank you and happy holidays to all our patron members, but thank you so much for your continued support. Much appreciated. You're quite fabulous at supporting us as well, Cube. So Vardiel, I agree. Hakimi, give it to me. Speaking of give it to me.
Gimme.
Speaking of giving it to me and gimme, a Shawnee from UK.
Gimme.
How we
How's it
doing,
going,
buddy?
Sean?
Well, I feel like I'm trying to give it to you just as you're trying to say enough. We're gonna go to bed now or something. Did I catch a minute ago? You say just before we round this up, and then I asked for a link, and were you guys about to round it up? I don't want to be coming on when you're trying to round it up, boys. Yeah,
well,
I
here's
don't want
the
to be
thing.
giving it to you then. That's the worst type of giving it to you, is when you've had enough. Like, let me go to sleep. Stop.
Here's the thing, Sean. When I roll over and wake up and it's you, I'll wake up. All right.
Yeah. But
thank you for tuning in.
I'm a permission-based guy, you know. Like I don't want to be tapping on your shoulder when you're already falling asleep. Saying, hey.
Stay up.
One more drink.
How are you doing? First and foremost, congrats on the 4K as well.
Congratulations, man.
Much deserved. I can't wait for you to have live streams again on your channel. Missed those, but those Tottenham walks are quite something. I tune into every. Honestly, they're always uploaded and ready for me when I wake up in the morning. So I appreciate you catering to your American audience like that.
That's why I do it. Because they're called. They were going to be called morning walks, but then I thought that was too exclusionary because it. And also the fact that I sometimes don't get up and do it and get it uploaded until gone 12. So, it's mainly I do it mainly for you guys, specifically you two.
Me and Michael. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Michael and Jacob is why I
appreciate it.
I get these things uploaded just for you at the right time.
Perfect timing. Well, thank you for being here. We were actually talking about something that you've been talking a lot about in your Tottenham walk videos. And it's about different transfers, realistically and unrealistically, players were linked with, etc. Hincapi comes to mind. Pedro Porro, I heard today. Do you believe any truth to this? And also, I don't want to let you come on here and talk about Harry Maguire because I will virtually not give you a slap on the ass. It'll be like an aggressive slap on the ass. Yeah.
Stop it.
No, I don't want to physically harm you though. It would be like a hurtful slap on the back. When someone gives you a nice one.
You're anti Maguire. So you guys are in the 99% of people that think that Harry Maguire would be a bad move for Tottenham?
I don't care if we got him for 10 million. I don't care if he came on a free. I don't want him playing for Tottenham.
I wouldn't want him, no. I would not want him.
Let me ask you to articulate a logical reason.
Every time I've seen him, he looks like ass. He reminds me of his face when my wife saw him. Yeah. It's not a pleasant thing. So if you're going to look at someone be ass on the pitch, at least maybe you look like Gareth Bale or you look nice, right? But this guy looks.
But we don't prejudice against people because they're unattractive, right? Otherwise,
no, that's very true.
I'd have like 400 subscribers, not 4,000. So.
Well, I subscribe because you're good looking, so I don't know about the others.
There we go.
That's just first and foremost, aesthetically not nice to look at. And then I would say when I see Man United play, I salivate when I see him in a starting lineup or I know he's back there because he's the Man United equivalent of Eric Dyer. He's prone to mistakes.
He's better than Eric Dyer.
I mean,
Miles better than Eric Dyer. Miles better than Eric Dyer.
What's a better kind of poo? You want diarrhea or you want solid constipated poo? Like they're both fucking poo. You don't want either.
Let me. Okay, well, fine. So maybe it was bad because it's easy for you to sit there and explain why because you see him playing for Manchester United in a back four, right? But in a back five, if you watch him for England in a back five in the centre of a back three, he is. He never lets England down. And he has people on the right and the left of him that can do certain jobs. Now, I wasn't advocating for Harry Maguire to come in as the sole centre back signing. I was just saying he's not even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or anything on my list. But
I do remember you saying that. Yeah.
He came in at a certain level for a certain price, and it would require for me to get on board with it. It would require Antonio Conte to have committed to the program for 2-3 years, so we know we're going to play with the back three. Then I think that there's logic to it because he is an infinitely better player in a back three than he is in a back two or back four, whatever you want to call it. And he can provide solutions in two of the areas one area specifically, but at both ends of the pitch, where Tottenham are piss poor and have been for years. And that is aerially. Defensively, we do not have anyone that is a rock-solid magnet for headers. And we don't have anybody offensively who can naturally take advantage of the magnetized crosses that someone like Perisic can provide. Perisic has got 7 assists this season from crosses, and none of the people that have scored from their head are typical headers of the ball, typical goal-scoring strikers or midfielders or defenders. You've got Longley, who's got one goal. You've got Ben Davies, who's got 2 goals. Can you imagine connecting Perisic's pinpoint accuracy with that magnet of a slab head that is Maguire?
I will say that forehead's quite large. It is a good target.
It's massive, mate. It's massive. And
it is a good target.
It not only does it in and of itself create probably, I would say, more goals than Richarlison is ever going to score for Tottenham in possibly his entire career.
Wow.
I would make the argument that, because I think that low of Richarlison as a goal scorer for Tottenham. Yeah, maybe too soon. I think that Harry Maguire could score like easy 6-7 goals between now and the end of the season, right? He's also not cup tied. And then on top of that, defensively, last season, we didn't concede goals, really, unless we conceded them from aerial threats. We don't have Romero, as good as he is when he wants to turn up and play for us.
No, he gets bullied in the air.
He's no good in the air. Ben Davies is okay in the air, but only when it's whipped in and he's at the front post. So he's very bad at the back post if it's coming from the right. If it's coming from the left, he's okay getting rid of it. Longley, think he's rubbish. Eric Dyer, think he's rubbish. Harry Maguire is superb in the air. He might not be great at everything else, but you don't need him to be great at everything else when he's playing in the middle of a back three. You can rely on other people to come in. And my justification for having him in the team was if we signed somebody else alongside him who was fast that could sit on the left, play alongside Romero on the right, put him in the middle, and then also if Conte was going to hang around for 2 or 3 years, then for the right price, it makes a lot of sense. And he'll pay for himself in goals scored. Tell me why I'm wrong.
He's ass.
He's ass. He's like 2 sweaty man cheeks at the gym that just sat on the bench press right before you're about to get there, and he didn't wipe his butt sweat. And you're like,
I think for me,
on my back.
It would, if like, I'll entertain the possibility of us signing him. If we signed him,
I mean, the forehead. That's
it would be one of those
selling point,
signings where it would just be like, come on, man. But I wouldn't hate the player. You know, obviously, I'm gonna back whoever's in a Tottenham shirt, but I wouldn't be excited about it whatsoever.
Who would you be more excited about? Because
Guardiola.
Well, yeah, but okay. Well, I'd be more excited about the girl, about like Mila Kunis than I would be about the girl down the pub who I've got a better chance of getting hold of. But let's get back to reality, right? Let's get back to reality.
But give me a chance. That's all I'm saying. Let me just meet with Gvardiol once. Just let's fucking open.
Yeah. Be like the new club. You could be the American club ambassador. You can meet with Gvardiol.
Bro, I'd show him such a good time. I'd hype him up so much.
How would you pitch it? If you were, let's transform you right into agent. You're George Mendes.
Agent Jacob.
Agent Jacob, and you've got connections. Right, you're walking into some bar in Leipzig right now. It's Friday night, right? There's like some like Berlin techno music going on, and there's Josko going, "Yeah, stimmt, yeah, good time."
I'd say,
and you kind of strut over, you get past the VIP line, and then you have the chance to say, "Hi, my name's Jacob. I represent Tottenham Hotspur. This is why I think you should come to us." Go on.
I would say all that, but then I'd also say all opinions may or may not be my own and not endorsed by Tottenham Hotspur, the football club. So first and foremost, I would say to him, "What's up?" Or excuse me, "Guten Tag. How you doing?"
Guten Tag.
And then I'd be like, I'd kind of bob with the music a little bit. What you drinking on?
Like,
just kind of,
Guten Tag.
Yeah.
What you drinking? That would be
feeling
Jacob.
it out. Yeah.
What you drinking? Nice. I think I'm gonna go on myself. Hey, listen, you want to come to Spurs?
You ever
They're
met
in the
Antonio?
Premier League.
You ever met Antonio?
No, yeah,
Conte?
they're pretty big. They're pretty big. I promise. No, haven't won in a while. 08.
Yeah.
All right, I'll catch you later, homie. And
What was
then
that
he
old
walks
school
away.
comedy program?
And then he walks away.
I forget the guy's name.
That's how the conversation would go. Oh, when was the last time you won a trophy? 08? Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna go.
No,
I think
That's a pretty
Chelsea's
good
over
reason.
there.
At that point in the conversation, what I'm saying is we're winning a trophy when you sign on the dotted line, baby. And then I'd be like, come on. You heard this song? Antonio loves this song. Let's FaceTime
yeah,
him.
there you go,
Let's
there you
FaceTime
go.
Antonio.
Hey, Antonio! Hey, bro!
And I got fucking Josko right here. And I'm fucking, hey, Antonio. And then Antonio would be like, "This is very good. He plays very good for the team." Yeah. And I say, "Oh, okay." You know, and he get hyped up. He meet Antonio, and I'd be like, "Look,
He's gonna be like,
you
"Are
come
you
to
ready
Tottenham,
to
you're
suffer?
instantly our
We are
best
going to
defender.
suffer."
I'm going to make you suffer." But also Conte lets his players have a lot of sex. So I'd say Conte wants you to bust it off with as many women as possible. So he endorses this club appearance right now.
He's a bro.
He's one of the guys. He wants
Bro.
you to have a good time. He's 20-year-old. I'll say, guess what? I'll buy you a drink next year. Wait, in Germany, is it 18?
Yeah, it's 18. I think
Oh,
it's
so
like
he can-
16.
Like
I think
15
in
or-
Germany they have a very liberal approach to
Yeah.
alcohol because they know that no one in Germany, they're all too busy with their
Kids
engineering
drink it,
degrees,
beer all the time.
figuring out how to turn engines into like, you know, faster rockets and things. And, you know, like no one's worried about over drinking the excesses of alcohol in Germany. So you could probably have a couple of beers at 13. And
I mean, he looks like a grown man at the age of 20. So I wouldn't card him at the door, nor would I card him at the bar. So
not when he's wearing that fucking Mask of Zorro thing that he wears.
Oh no,
I
Like,
fucking love
he
it.
would have to card
Oh.
me, and I would be serving him alcohol.
Can you imagine if you went, "Hey, what happened to your face? Did you have like a fracture of the eye socket like Heung-min's son?" And he goes, No, I just like.
I just wear it.
I like wearing this.
I just wear it.
Oh
That's
shit! You like that? Are you okay? Okay.
That's the fucking attitude I want. I want a dude out there feeling his baddest self. And if a little face mask helps him do that, you know what? That's a sight to be seen. I can't wait for Sonny in the mask. I think Mask Sonny's going to be. I've been saying he's going to tear up the Premier League.
Listen. This is going to be a really unpopular opinion, and I could already tell. I've already said a couple of things. People are calling me out saying that I'm allergic to success or something.
Sean, allergic to trophies, I see, says Cello Vera.
Listen, I'm not advocating that we buy him. I'm just saying that if we bought him, then I
Wouldn't
would
be the worst thing in the world.
as long as it made sense. Like if you go down the list, you know, we need a centre back. If you can't get Josko because Josko wasn't at the club that night, and you were just in there talking to somebody who looked like Josko Guardiola, but actually he was just a random guy, a random coffee barista who looked like Josko and was
who had the shave in his eyebrow too.
So they'll get Conte on the bone, and Conte's like, this is not Josko. But if you can't get hold of those guys, and you go down the list and you go, okay, if not Josko, that's fine. So then Antonio Silva, well, no, maybe Benfica don't want to sell him, and you go, okay, how about Indica? How about Hincapié? How about and you go down the list, and then suddenly you get a phone call from Harry Maguire's agent, and Man United are looking to sell. I just don't think it's the craziest thing in the world if you meet all these other metrics that I already said about, you know. But my point, I'm moving swiftly forward. I think Sonny. Do you remember Sonny pussying out of the header challenge against Manchester United when we went on to concede the second goal, and it was like him and Martinez went in for the header on the halfway line, and Sonny sort of squirmed out of it, and everyone gave him a super hard time on Twitter. Everyone was like, "Man, you're scared. That's a scaredy cat bullshit move, bro." And then
I remember seeing that, yeah.
Remember it? And then the very next game, I think it was or the game after that, the next time he has a 50-50 challenge, and he
went
goes
up and
in
broke his face.
Broke his face.
On my birthday.
Right.
That was my fucking birthday. He broke his
Don't remind
face.
him.
If you're somebody that's naturally a little bit scared of that kind of 50-50 tackle anyway, and you're more your disposition is more inclined to kind of like go nah, and then because of under the weight of public pressure, you're getting schoolboy bullied into, all right, the next 50-50, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to big myself up, and he goes for it. It's like the guy who's trying to like drop in for the first time on a half pipe, and he can't do it on the Saturday, and he can't do it, and he can't do it, and his friends are going, just drop in.
I've been there, yeah.
Okay, right. So, and he can't do it, and he walks away, and he's like, fucking embarrassed myself, and he goes back down with his mum and his dad on the Sunday when no one else is around, and he finally builds up the courage, and he leans back and he slams his head. That's what happens to Sonny. I don't think that Sonny is I think his confidence is shook. I think that thing that's happened to his face is going to be, personally, I think he's going to struggle to to get back to full hero mode.
I feel so. A couple things about the like peer pressured into then going into a 50-50. I think it was just more situational, and I think it being a Champions League match that we had to win, it was more of just not even thinking about it, just a conscious decision. I'm gonna go fucking win this ball because we can't lose this match. Whereas the United match, maybe there was a little bit of in his mind, like, I don't want to get fucked up before the World Cup kind of thing. And I could see that, and I could definitely listen to that argument, but I don't think social media or the fans or anyone pressured him necessarily into then going. Maybe it's coincidental that it was the next game, but I think
he's never been a 50-50 guy. He's not that kind of player.
But it's a Champions League match, and he's lost a Champions League final. So you could say maybe they're in the Champions League final or the build-up too. There were 50-50s in which he maybe didn't go up for. I'm just saying, I think there's a lot of factors when you break it down to a human level of like, okay, am I going to go for this or am I not going to go for this? And when it's a match that's do or die, I think he's going to go for it. And that's what that Frankfurt match was. I
don't think you're ever going to see him go into a 50-50 again.
But definitely not with the mask on. But honestly, that's not what I've ever wanted from Sonny. I've never wanted Sonny in the box trying to feed a header in. I never wanted Sonny doing much with his face. It's too good to look at, to be banging balls off of. So his strength has never been in the air or vertically against anybody. It's on the pitch with his feet on the floor. So I don't mind if he never goes up for another 50-50. I don't think that's his strong suit.
No, that's a terrible thing. You're a player, bro. You got to be as brave as the next guy. Sorry, you have to be, in my opinion. And I think he's not someone who's naturally got it in him. And I think even if you watched him, like, did you guys see the game against Nice on last night or Wednesday night? Did you see the game?
I did not. I had to work.
Yeah, I watched it.
Brian Hill came into that game and absolutely bossed it. He was absolutely phenomenal, right?
I want to talk about. I don't think he was phenomenal. I think he had good runs. I think he was very easily dispossessed, and he was very quick to go to ground, whether that's a physical thing or just his desire to go to ground. I don't think he was phenomenal. He was a bright spot, I will say.
Man of the match, though, right? You give man of the match to him? Or was I watching a different game from you? Because he was clear to me. And the only point I make, we can disagree whether you think he bossed it, but I personally think he did. But my point is that when Sonny came on in the last 15 minutes, did nothing. And everything I've
wasn't
read,
Hill his striker? I mean, when you got Hill as your striker, because didn't Hill move into the middle when Son got subbed in?
Matt Doherty put him in. It's not about whether or not Sonny was trying to find something else, but it was the impact, the input, the effort, and the desire. And Brian Hill ran around for 90 minutes, 85, however many minutes he had, but the majority of the game.
But what did he do? Running around is great, but what did he do?
Loads. He was the central point of everything. But my
point.
But
what did he do? Did he assist Matt Doherty?
My point. We can discuss that. My point is that Sonny comes in and does the square root of fuck all. And the argument that I would have with people that say that, maybe you're not a Brian Hill fan. I'm a massive Brian Hill fan. I think the guy has got oodles and oodles of talent. And I think that this argument that he needs to bulk up is a little bit inaccurate. I think there's only so much you can do when you're that slight a figure. And I think there's other things that he can improve on that will make him capable in the English game. But my point is that the people that say Brian Hill's never going to play, it's because they always say, who's he going to dispossess? Whose position is he going to take? He's not going to take Decky's. He's not going to take Harry Kane's. And he's not going to take Sonny's. And Richarlison, when fit, goes in ahead of him. So he's always going to be fifth choice. I start to worry about Sonny. I know he's your boy. He's everyone's boy. We all love him. But I just don't think that Sonny is anything like this season's version of him. Pre his injury, pre his facial thing. I just don't think he's there. And I think that if we stand on ceremony and protect him and don't drop him just because of, I don't want it to become a "what have you done for me lately" argument, because that's not what I'm saying. But you just have to. I think you have to have a meritocracy. And Sonny to me looks like a guy who's just a different player, and you shouldn't just keep playing him simply because he's Sonny. And if people like Brian Hill put in the effort like they did when they get the minutes, every single time Brian Hill comes on the pitch, he runs around with intent and energy, And I think that he deserves more minutes than he gets.
No, I mean, hey, I'm all for it. I want Hill to succeed. But again, this is Nice we're talking about, and he ran all over and did fuck all with it, in my opinion. I do agree he was one of the brighter players in the sense of he was getting forward, he's making good runs. I like to see him on the ball. He's quick as hell, and I liked his effort and I liked his hustle as well. But again, you have to have all those things when you're constantly getting knocked on your ass, and it's too easy when you play as a paper player. You got to have. I'm not saying he needs to bulk up and be a Dom Traore out there, but when you're on the ball, you can't get dispossessed so easily. I mean, I understand there's tricks and dinks that you want to do to your game, but in my opinion, I just don't think he can survive in this league at this level. He's got speed, he's got skills, I think he's got a lot of talent. I do agree with a lot of what you said, but I do want to disagree with the fact about Sonny. Again, this is a friendly versus Nice. He's coming back from World Cup disappointment and playing with his World Cup team, now playing with his club team. I think it's going to be a little bit of...
It's a bit of excuses, mate. Like he's going to play on Monday.
I don't think pointing out like factual information is necessarily an excuse. Like it literally came off of a World Cup. Maybe disappointment is my own emotions attached to it, but you know, there is some success, I guess, to be taken away from their World Cup performance. But I did want to say that
woeful in the World Cup. He was woeful.
He got the assist on the game-winning goal that sent them out of the group. I would say that he wasn't woeful. He just didn't score.
He was awful.
I would disagree with that. There was a game I missed because it was like at 3 a.m. my time, so I didn't see every single game. But every game I watched of his, I thought he was fine. I didn't think he was woeful. And again, I think he had that game-winning assist to Heung. It was a great run. Reminded me of the Burnley run he had from his own final third to the opposition's final third, and laid the ball off because he had nowhere else to go. So I mean, again, I'm probably biased. I accept that. I love Sonny, and it's hard for me to see.
I love him too. I want to see him get back to, you know, last season or the season before's version of Sonny.
If we had some other option off the bench, not Brian Hill, I might be more.
Well, like David, in your comments saying, what has Hill's energy produced on the pitch for Spurs ever? He hasn't had any minutes, man. He's had, like, I reckon you could probably squeeze the entire minutes that he's played for Tottenham in competitive matches at points in the game where the game is in flux into probably 3 or 4 games. Like, he plays, he gets sod all minutes, and when he does play, it's either the last 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of the game, or it's in situations where, like in the Europa League or whatever, or sorry, the Conference League, where, you know, that was B teams playing in weird situations, blah 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 blah. But I think recently, like, you can't, for me, and I hear what you're saying about his size thing. I know you, but I do
not necessarily his size. You can, like I said, I like Xavi Simons, but he doesn't get dispossessed quite as easily as Brian Hill does, and they're relatively the same size. They're fucking tiny. So to me, and he doesn't even play. He plays in the Netherlands league, the Holland league. So
I think there's a difference between being strong and being clever. I was saying this on my walk the other day. I feel like what he needs to work on. If he's someone who goes into the gym every single day and tries to put on 8 pounds, he's got a physique that, you know, he's just got a super fast metabolism. He's slight of frame, right? I just don't think he's going to put on that muscle that easily. And if he focuses too much on that, it can take away from the things that he has naturally, the low center of gravity, the speed of feet, all that stuff. What people like Modric or Mudryk or Andreas Skob Olsen, someone that I really like, what those guys who are all very similar frames, what they do that I think Brian Hill would be better off focusing his attention on and his development on is to do, if he's got that speed of thought when the ball's at his foot, what he needs to really work on is envisioning, like taking everything in and having a plan as quickly as you can, like what Luka Modric does, where he receives the ball, first touch, he already knows what he wants to do with it. And I'm not sure Brian Hill does. Sometimes he gets the ball, he starts to run, and he's not entirely convinced. He goes into dark alleys and he has to turn around and come back out. He's not completely like clear of what he wants to do with the ball. And I think that sometimes for me, it's far better for him to focus his development on the anticipation and the interpretation of the game and having a plan that is like immediately apparent to him than it is spending 4 hours in the gym every day, because you're playing against people that are 6'2" who also spend 3 hours in the gym every day. I just don't think that he's going to be able to kind of close the gap on the strength differential. And for me, I think that like people like Luka Modric and that they don't have to worry about that shit. They just use their body better. Like they put themselves between the man and the ball.
So why hasn't Hill been able to do that with his body, with his tiny little frame? Why can't he manipulate the ball better to where he doesn't get fucking blown over when the wind blows?
Because he's learning it. He's young, right? He's learning. He's a raw talent. But for me, I think that he has. Oh, so you'd be happy for him to be sold, would you?
I think a loan with an option to buy would be nice. Let him, because I think he wants to go to La Liga. He doesn't seem. I mean, if I remember correctly, when he went to Valencia or Valente, wherever that was, he was basically begging his family because he wanted to go home to Spain, basically. And to me, that's like Bastoni. I don't want him. You could have X, Y, and Z in your locker, but if you don't have the desire to put on this shirt and be in the fucking freezing cold England rain, then I don't fucking want you. And that's just how I feel about it. I think he's a fair weather player, like a Lo Celso. You give me in the sun, you put me in a nice weather, I'll perform. You give me, I just don't see enough from him at this point, especially to warrant the price tag. If we're not willing to drop a similar amount on a better player, I just don't understand. I do see that there is some upside to the Hill thing. I don't think he's oh, get him out of my fucking club, he's trash. I just think maybe he should stay with the team and not get loaned out and fucking learn from Harry Kane how to stay on a ball. Because at this point, every time I've seen him, he does fuck all. He can dribble up and down. He had a nice, whenever we saw him, he had a nice dribble on the byline, and he saved it and dribbled up the pitch. I was like, oh, that's nice. Did fuck all with it. And it's just like, people hate on Adama Traore, but they want to get on their knees for Bryan Gil. I don't understand it, because he literally does everything Bryan Gil can do, but he can do it with some fucking girth. That's what I'm saying.
I think a loan to a championship side would do wonders for his development. Even if it's this January, just get him into a league, let him get muscled around a little bit in the lower division, and he can obviously mature in a league that's very tough. Like, it's not easy to win the championship, or it's not easy to be one of the best players in the championship for young guys like this who are still developing, they're still growing, they're still all of their muscles are still growing like Bryan Gil's are. I think a loan to a championship side would be really, really good for him. Unfortunately, with our depth right now, though, I don't think we would be able to allow it unless we got some players in, especially with Lucas's situation. Because you could argue Hill is the first option right now off the bench with Richarlison and Lucas out.
I think the guy does have the ability to be a game changer. I hear what you're saying about Adama, or there's a player that I really like Doku from Rennes. Right, it's very similar to Adama, brilliant, fast feet, all that stuff. Raw talent, don't know what to do with the ball, lack of distribution. Bryan Gil doesn't have a lack of distribution. He's different to Adama in that regards. I agree with you, Michael. I think that if you're gonna, here's my point. Here's my.
I'd like him to stay in England if you loan him out. I don't want him to go back to Spain, especially if he's going to be part of your plans. Come on, man, keep him in the country. Let him grow. Yeah,
I agree with that. But the one thing I'm worried about is that Tottenham would make a massive mistake in selling him to try and raise funds for Conte's system, because Conte doesn't want to use him. Conte likes big physical players that can play in the 3-4-3. He likes big physical wing backs. He likes strong guys in the two wide men up front. And to me, Bryan Gil isn't a natural fit for that stuff. It doesn't fit Conte's system. But with Conte like umming and ahhing and misleading people, telling everyone I'm really happy here, but I'm in no rush to sign anything, it's very difficult for me to get behind that narrative when this January is such a do or die time, and now the ownership are not necessarily going to know whether to back him or to back future players for a future management. But the one thing I worry about is whether or not Daniel Levy would sanction loaning him to Spain with an obligation to buy pending certain outcomes, and in order to raise funds to help Conte, but then Conte fucks off in the summer anyway.
See, that's like a catch-22, right? It's like, you want Conte to sign so you feel security. If, say, you are whoever we may bring, whether it's Denzel Dumfries if you want him, or any of the Inter Milan players that Conte coached, you want that assurance that, hey, this guy's still going to be here if I'm going to sign on the dotted line. But he's also like, I want you to bring these players in if I'm going to sign on. It's almost like a who's going to shoot the gun first, and then the water can flow.
Standoff. Yeah, Mexican standoff, right? But the problem is, mate, is that Brian Hill was collateral damage in that one, in my mind, because people would be after him. Because a lot of teams, a lot of managers would look at him and say, I can't wait to work with him. And I believe that whoever the next managerial cab off the rank is, whether it's Pochettino or somebody else who doesn't play a back three, whoever it is, who doesn't want to play a back three, would have an extra space in the midfield or in the creative role for someone like Brian Hill. And they will look at him and say, I can't wait to work with that kid because he'll work in my system. But Tottenham, if they're trying to raise funds because they've said that they don't have the money, whatever, then they sell him or loan him out with an obligation to buy to a Seville, and then we end up selling him for 25 million, and Conte fucks off anyway, and then the next guy comes in and wants a player that looks exactly like the guy that we just sold on a half budget. And so for me, I think that you can't sanction selling Hill right now. I understand if you don't want to play him, if he's not Conte, loan him out, but don't sell him, for fuck's sake. Please don't sell him.
I agree. I think there's somewhere in the middle ground here. Michael, I actually liked your idea. You said loan him to the championship, keep him in the country, and you know what? The championship's not a bad league to look at. We saw it do wonders for Skip's development. I could see it doing some. Maybe this, what you're talking about, Sean, Hill could have that if he went to a little bit less talented league. But again, there was another comment I saw that I do agree with from Bryce, plain old Bryce, says, Sean, my concern with Hill is the return in which you get on him, still no goals. And even when he did go to Spain, he didn't have anything. He even got benched, and they were a relegation side that he was loaned to. So like I said, it feels like there's some magic. What's the name? Valencia. Yeah. Or was it Valencia or Valencia?
Valencia.
One of them. Yeah. So I just think there's still something to be. How old is he now? And how old is
22.
Fucking Jude Bellingham? How old is Musiala? How old is?
Yeah, but you're comparing like the world's best young players with.
I'm just rattling off some youngsters that I think are impressive and that will go for a high. Right, he's not on that echelon level. So like, what are some younger? Kulusevski, okay. Who else? Trossard. How old is he? He's still getting goals in. He's not the biggest fella, and he's out there.
And Brighton, 26.
So I mean, that's a little older. But so my point is like, there needs to be something coming out of what he's doing. Because, again, that's the biggest knock that everyone's got against my meaty boy wonder, Adama Traore, is that he can do fuck all with it. Yeah, he can get up and down the pitch in a hurry. He can bully some people on and off the ball. But what does he do with it at the end? And I kind of feel like with Hill, maybe he does need some more time. Why not? But at the same time, like, he played with Nuno, didn't he? He started a few Premier League matches when Nuno was in charge. I don't know if that's a great reasoning for my argument, but I just don't know if...
I don't know how anyone can make a judgment on him right now, given the lacking of minutes, of real minutes.
And I think that's why I'm so...
Like, if you look at his stats, it might say he's played in 20 games for Tottenham. But in reality, those 20 games, 7-8 of them will be 5 minutes at the end of a match. Then he's played in the Europa Conference League, where everybody was shit.
I just remember him. I just remember him in the Conference League. Like, okay, here's your chance. These teams aren't that talented.
Everybody was shitting.
Everyone was. I do agree with that. But it was just like, at one point, I was like, he's just running up and down the pitch at one point, getting knocked over. It's like a little kid playing with adults, fucking running into an adult, falls over, gets up, sprints real hard down the pitch. And I love that effort. It's Lucas Moura. I love the effort. But, like, what you going to do with it? So
you'd be happy for him to leave, would you?
On loan, I like Michael's idea. I think I'm sold on Michael's idea. Loan him to a championship side for the rest of the season, and then we reassess in the summer and see what he can do.
Okay.
I don't think selling him, because I think we're such in a hurry to pay that high of a price tag because Like you said, other teams are kind of keeping an eye on him. Same thing with Destiny Udogie. We needed to get that deal done because other big clubs were sniffing around, but we wanted to lock him up. So yeah, you can have him for the whole year. Just give him to us afterwards because we don't want.
What will happen, though? The same people that are doubting on Brian Hill, if he comes into the Premier League next year, because it's a different league and he hasn't had time to acclimatise. If he comes in and plays half an hour here, or he doesn't play because Conte or whoever the manager is doesn't think that he's ready, and when he finally gets given a game, like that, people get putting in encampments. Everyone wants to jump in and go play like free Jed Spence because they don't trust Conte's opinion of him because they haven't really seen him, and they're pissed off with what they see from Emerson and Doherty, right? They're willing to give that guy a pass. But they're not willing to give Brian Hill a pass. And I don't know which way it will go with Udogie, but unless Udogie comes in and smashes it, hits the ground running, which is probably unlikely to happen, people are probably going to, I'd say because of the hype about Udogie, because he does so well for Udinese, I think a lot of people are going to come in, and if he doesn't play, people are going to question whoever the manager is who's not playing him and saying, why the fuck isn't he playing? When in reality, there should be a reason for that. There should be a justification behind it.
Yeah,
people jump into like encampments. Maybe I'm guilty of doing the same as well, for what it's worth. But I think I've seen enough from Brian Hill to want him to hang around, because I think if we sell him or loan him out with an obligation to be sold, I think we'll be doing it because Conte doesn't see a fit for him in the squad, and then Conte will fuck off anyway. The next guy would come in, could have used him, and you'll see Brian Hill emerge as a really good player somewhere else.
Again, like I said, I agree with a lot of points, and I do disagree with some of the points, but I still think it does remain to be seen with Hill. I'm not sold or bought on the guy at this point. I still think it remains to be seen. It's still something that, quite frankly, like you said, he hasn't had too much time, but he's had enough time to. I want to see something more. But man, Sean, this conversation, I swear it could go on for another hour.
Yeah, I've just seen your private message. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
10 minutes ago you sent it. Sorry, I've just seen it. I came in swinging. I'm sorry.
Well, no, the thing is, I've invited you on a past few shows and you haven't been able to make it. So you made it here, and I wanted to hear you out on some things, because I'm sitting here on my keyboard when I watch you on Irish Hotspur or on any of the other channels where you're bigging up Maguire. I'm like, no, shut up, Sean, shut up. And so I'm glad to have you on here.
There's an angle.
I will give you this, Sean. You are quite effective at making a solid argument. You definitely make arguments that make me think. I will, but you know what, Maguire, the one thing I will say you sold me on is that fucking forehead of his.
Okay.
I would.
See, are you getting on board it?
Massive.
Getting on board it?
If we did Eric Dyer Maguire swap plus 10 mil, I'd be okay with it. Because of that forehead, I think I could grill some pancakes on there. If you leave them out in the sun too long, you could fry something up on that.
You know that thing gets
cook some eggs.
Shiny in the summer, right? Real shiny
God.
in the summer. Michael, are you last question? Michael, are you on board in a world where we get rejected for the top 6-7 options? Is there an argument where you could see Maguire making sense?
No. I don't like Harry Maguire, man. I really don't. I actually find it funny when he fucks up, especially when it's for Manchester United. Look,
reminds me of Eli Manning. American football fans will know who
I'm going to say the same thing that me and Jacob always say time and time again. When they put on the Tottenham jersey, I'm always going to root for them. Until that point, with Harry Maguire, absolutely not. Please, no.
Yeah, I don't want to see it because I just feel like
see
it's
it as another
lateral
Eric
move.
Dyer.
Yeah, it's not an upgrade. We're not like, I want fucking impact signings for our 11 right now. Give me Pedro Porro. That's an affordable buy. Give me Hincapi. We were linked to hell with him. Evan Ndicka, Conte resign. Boom. I'm happy I can wait another 2 transfer windows to bring in a big boy, a big splash.
Careful what you wish for with Hincapi, mate. If you saw him against Senegal, he got absolutely bullied.
I just want numbers there. I just want, because Longley, while he's okay, it's not enough. Ben Davies, I don't want that. I don't want that business on my field no more. So, but that's another time. Sean, please let me know when you're available again. Would love to have you on a Friday show, or maybe we can record something. But when's the next time you're live? And while you do that, I will put your 4K subscriber channel into the chat, my friend. Congrats again.
Thanks, man. Yeah, sorry for coming and steamrolling the last 5 minutes, or what turned into 20 minutes.
All you did was work me up and make me a little more sweaty, my friend. That's all you did. Got me angry about Brian Hill. I can fucking talk about that for hours.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I'm at Spurs Talk Show, and yeah, I do my daily walks every day, but I will be streaming again from January the 1st, essentially. As soon as the window opens, I'll be doing an hour or so every. Well, for you guys, it'll be the morning, but it'll be lunchtime for the UK folk. So, yeah.
Well, I just dropped the link in the chat. If you haven't already, go on over there, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Man, it's good to have you on. It's been a while. Sean,
love you
gotta
guys.
fucking do it again, whether it's on your channel or my channel. I don't give a shit. I still need to talk to you about Maguire and Hill. There's unfinished business here, my friend. But we do want to do one final thought before we sign off. I just want to say my final thought is happy motherfucking holiday. Thank you for all the motherfuckers who popped up in the chat today, who are patrons of the channel. Alan Sibley, big up yourselves. The 10-inch club, Goguma, Leo COYS with Mile High Hotspur, C. Sherman, official supporters, Scott M, Merry Christmas, you Canadian pancake man, and James Joris. Happy fucking holidays, J-Co, David's here in the house, Aaron Dub, Jamie, Jack Kanicki with the Irish Hots, Aaron Dub, and Lovers Lane, Bobby KG, and Kim, Tom Markin, and Colin, C-Cubed. Happy fucking holidays. Even if you're not on that list, just be safe, be warm, and love your fucking people around you. You can never go wrong with giving a hug. That's all I gotta say.
I can't wait to get a hug off of you when I finally meet you in Houston or wherever you are. San Antonio.
El Paso. Hopefully I make it to fucking UK before that. So
I might be coming over there like sort of January 17th. You don't know what my travel plans look like.
Oh,
it is
on my list.
Did you know Hueco Tanks here in El Paso? It's like the number 5 hotspot for mountain climbers, and I learned that the other day. So any mountain climbers.
Haven't you guys also got one of those awesome, like, it's like a place where all the young kids go and like sunbathe, but there's a giant slide that like where people fly down and then fling into the air and they can land into a swimming pool. Is that in El Paso or is that in San Antonio? It's somewhere.
Sure, they have some in El Paso.
Do they?
There's something like that.
Yeah, like
I've seen
a slide at a water park.
Yeah, but it's not like a water park with like, you know, random like little slides and stuff. It's literally just basically like a lake. And it's got like a giant 3 slides that come back up at the end, and people slide down. And then
They do that at Lake Louisville in Dallas.
I think I know what you're talking about, but that's San Antonio.
It's San Antonio, is it? Okay.
I believe that's that lake, or it's just between San Antonio and Austin, I think.
Okay, well, if Bitcoin gets back up to like 69 grand at some point in the next couple of years, I'm coming out. And we're going to buy some land in El Paso and we're going to build our own fucking water park, okay?
Let's fucking go. I love it. Big ups. That's fantastic. Michael, do you have a final thought before we sign this?
Just want to say happy holidays and thank you all for joining in on the stream today. Thanks, Sean, for joining us at the end. And yeah, just stay safe out there. And finally, once again, I'll say it again and I'll say it again and I'll say it again. I'm happy that Tottenham is back. I love the stress and the sadness and the heartache that comes with being a fan of this club, but I wouldn't have it any other way. What about you, Sean? Final thought?
100%. Yeah, couldn't have said it better. So I'm going to say Maguire in, Hill stay, Conte out.
Oh no,
Levy for president. 2020.
Oh god.
Oh my god, this is quite the outro. That's a fun final thought. It's a unique final thought. But big ups everyone for being here. Michael, always a pleasure having you back on. Yep. Doesn't feel the same without you, my friend. So it just feels right. And again, happy fucking holidays, everyone. Michael, you want to sign us out this time?
Thank you guys so much for listening to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast. We'll see you guys same time, same place next week. If you're going to the match on Monday, be safe, be loud, be proud. We'll be watching you on the telly across the pond. Big up the lads. And Jacob?
Come on, you Spurs. Go.